Private servers for your favorite MMORPGs are in hot water this year. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. EverQuest THJ here. First, the EverQuest private server. The hero's journey was in trouble with Daybreak, and that's an ongoing lawsuit. And now Turtle WoW is in the hot seat, so that's great. The private servers they're not having a good year. 2025 just isn't the year of the private server. On August 29th, Blizzard filed a lawsuit against Turtle WoW in California. They're claiming copyright infringement, obviously, RICO violations, trademark misuse, trafficking, and circumvention tools using the IP without permission, and monetization, etc. So, yeah, like I said, this is kind of rough at the moment. Turtle WoW is hosted out of Russia, which I thought would keep them safe. But you got to figure that a lot of the people that are working on it, like the primary movers and shakers of that server, they're not living in Russia. So they can be gotten to. And this is a lawsuit. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not, you know what I mean? Don't take anything I say here as like legal advice or anything like that. You got to have that disclaimer in every one of these videos because you don't want to get sued, all right? Well, a lot of this is just my opinion, but it's one of those things where I can see them doing something to their Visa or MasterCard, to the people who are working on this, where they can just make their lives a mess. They can do things that are not going to be very fun. And Turtle WoW's fighting it. Torda put out a statement on their Discord saying that they're here to stay. So it seems like they're willing to fight it, and this is different than Daybreak suing the hero's journey. The hero's journey basically, right away, I'm pretty sure they were like, oh, and they just kind of, they kind of bent the knee to it right away. At least there was another server that did that. I think it was Quarm that did that. That's right. Quarm saw the hero's journey being sued, and they were like, you can take our stuff. We'll shut down right now out of goodwill. And they even got some restrictions on their servers, how many people can be in it, the content that can be on that server. Just to give you an idea of another similar lawsuit that's going on. It did impact other private servers. It didn't just impact the one that's being sued. So this is something that can impact all the other servers, especially the ones that are bigger. And I don't know about you guys, but I've got a lot of ads for private servers for World of Warcraft here on YouTube and other places. And after a while, you're going to piss off Blizzard. It's that simple. And if Blizzard wins, they can impact the revenue that Turtle WoW makes. It seems unlikely that they can totally shut the server down, but who's going to be left to fund it? I'm pretty sure they're hosted out of Russia. I've heard other people say that they have servers that are hosted out of other areas, though. So that definitely puts those at risk of a complete shutdown. It's iffy. Now, another one of the things about this is that they can go after YouTubers like myself. Like, let's say I just wanna make a Let's Play series for Turtle WoW. They can get that shut down, and they can even strike my channel, possibly even taking legal action against me just for spreading word of mouth about the server. So, a lot of what makes these servers popular is word of mouth, and Turtle WoW is very well known. So that's one thing they've got going for them. They're already very well known, but if they put out update videos, they're going to be a lot more limited. Their reach is going to be limited. People aren't going to see them as much unless they're connected to the proper circles. A lot of these websites, like Facebook or anything like that, the Discord, a lot of different things that people get their news from, Blizzard can absolutely take those down, and I expect that that's exactly what they're going to be doing. So this can have a significant impact on the visibility of what the server's been up to. It seems like Turtle WoW really got in trouble with 2.0. That's when I noticed Blizzard was starting to get pissed. There were murmurings of them trying to take them down around that point, and this was, I don't know, about a year ago now, maybe a little bit over a year. That trailer, which I can't show here for legal reasons, looks incredible. Now, keep in mind it's using Unreal Engine 5, which is known for traversal stutter, and this is something that, World of Warcraft, you're doing a lot of traversal, especially in vanilla. So I don't know how well it's really going to run, but then again, these are developers that have passion, and that goes a long way compared to a lot of the modern developers, like, say, for games like Silent Hill 2, Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake, that sort of thing. These guys are probably going to be a little bit better at optimizing their engine to work with it. And yeah, it's one of those things. It looks great. But unfortunately, it got a lot of eyeballs onto it from Blizzard, and it seems like they've got a pretty significant player base. I've heard people estimate there's anywhere between like 50 to 100,000 people playing on Turtle WoW. I don't know if that's legit. That's just what I've heard. But I know it's very popular. I was playing there a couple years ago, and I started to get a little pissed off with the fact that it was really hard for a Frost Mage to AoE farm because every mob was just the servers were packed, man. Now back then they only had I think one or two servers at that point. I think it was just the one actually. So I was struggling just to pick off one mob at a time, forget about trying to AoE farm. So I just kind of got frustrated with it, moved on. I made a video talking about it. I didn't like the fact that they were monetizing. It's one of the things I mentioned in that video, by the way. I'm going to link it for you guys. I recommend you check that out. But I had it all modded up. I had the nights looking darker and everything, and the graphics looking pretty good. And I had to take off. Because, like I said, I was getting frustrated with the fact that I couldn't do what I wanted to do, AoE farm. It was too packed, and I didn't like the shop. I didn't like the fact that they were monetizing something that does not belong to them. Now, I do understand they've put in a significant amount of work, and the server is awesome. They've got some really great stuff there. It's like, a lot of people would say that it's the definitive Classic Plus. It's what a lot of people wanted. The vanilla as if it never ended, that sort of thing. I mean, I think they had, I think it was the High Elves they brought in the Goblins. They had different storylines, new zones, all sorts of stuff. It's just a lot of fun. So it's a shame to see this happening, just like it's a shame for THJ. And the sentiment around it within the community is that, THJ is doing things that Daybreak won't do for EverQuest. EverQuest is just releasing the same old time-locked progression servers, and people are tired of it. They don't want to hand over their money, and then there's botting that goes unchecked and all this crap that people don't want to deal with. So, it's a little bit easier to have a community get policed when you've got a private server and the devs really care, and they can have people that volunteer to take care of that kind of garbage, and it makes it harder for people to bot and to just be a nuisance. So there's a number of reasons why people love these private servers. And, what I would say to Blizzard and what I would say to Daybreak is you guys got to step it up. You got to take a look at what they're doing and what's working, and then you need to put that into your business model and run with it, okay? Instead of just going after these guys, maybe you might want to start employing some of them. I know that sounds kind of crazy maybe, but at least take their ideas and implement them into your own IP. It's your IP. If you want to steal their ideas, that's the thing, is you could totally do that, and they're not going to be able to do anything, okay? But you need to look at what the hero's journey is doing, speaking to Daybreak, and why it works. And you need to take a look at Turtle WoW and why it works. And why does it work for the hero's journey? Well, people can have multiple classes. They don't have to worry so much about getting groups. EverQuest is a game where, you're really not soloing a lot. Well, the hero's journey changes that. You can have a mix of, I think, up to 3 classes, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't played it, but it sounds pretty cool. So you could have like a healer / tank and damage dealer all rolled into one. You could have like a beast master with like a cleric and a shadow knight or something like that. And you just make all these crazy combinations. People love those kind of classless systems or those mix and match systems anyways. Those have always been pretty popular. Taking a look at doing something like that and implementing it into your game, it's going to go a long way with keeping good faith on your side. Now, Blizzard doesn't have to worry about this as much as EverQuest does, because EverQuest is an IP that's been shrinking ever since World of Warcraft came on the stage like 20 years ago. So, they don't have as much, wiggle room to piss people off. Blizzard, they're not going to really feel the burn of losing people who weren't playing on their server anyway. But this is something that can definitely impact them in a negative way, however significant. It's unfortunate, man. Just do stuff that people want to do and reduce that need, right? If you would do this, there wouldn't even be a market out there for them to do this stuff and pull people away from you. A lot of what has pushed people away is that you're just not giving them what they want. They want that classic experience, and they want more on top of that. They want Classic Plus, really. They don't want to move on to retail. They hate retail in both instances. EverQuest and World of Warcraft, these players cannot stand the modern state of retail. So if you're going to keep doing retail, fine. I mean, it's what you're going to do. But they should absolutely consider not just doing like Season of Discovery. I mean, they've kind of tried to do things, at least Blizzard has, to their credit. EverQuest, the Daybreak devs haven't tried to do anything to kind of remedy this. And that's a shame. It's really, just listen to the people who are paying your bills. These people are giving you like $15 a month. Every month. And a lot of these people, they subscribe for more than just one account. They'll be boxing. And, you know, you really need to treat these people better. I mean, we're in an era where MMORPGs aren't king anymore. You know, I don't think you can really afford to be too arrogant about that stuff. So there is one thing about this that's nice. It could be a sign that Blizzard is getting ready to actually do Classic Plus the way that people would like to see it done. And that would be nice, but I don't know. At the moment, it just looks bleak for people who are into these private servers because they're providing things that the original servers aren't. And I mean, I feel like a broken record here, but it's the truth. I mean, for years, people have wanted Classic WoW, and Blizzard gave it to them, but I don't know if it's exactly what people wanted. It, you know, they would just move on, and now I think they're all the way up to like Mists of Pandaria. So, and all the older Classic servers just kind of died off. There isn't really anybody playing vanilla. If you went into like the Burning Crusade, there's probably nobody there. People want something that's long term and not moving on to Mists of Pandaria. They don't want to go to even Wrath of the Lich King. I think a lot of people want to stay in the vanilla era, maybe mixing in a little bit of TBC, adding in a little bit of quality of life and stuff like that, but without going too far. They want that alternate dimension, that alternate universe where World of Warcraft didn't become what it is today, but it kept building upon what made it so awesome way back when. But at this point, I want to kick it over to you guys. What do you think about this? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you're new here, I ask that you please subscribe, click that notification bell, hit the like button. God bless, and I look forward to hearing from you guys in the next video.
Nostalgia. It's delicate, but potent.